Okay, today I've got this P-Touch Brother label printer because I've started sorting out some parts. So I need to label the drawers, so I thought it's probably time I bought one of these label makers, even though the labels are pretty expensive for them. But this does come with some free one to try out. I think it's just the black on white, but of course you can get all these different colours. And I think they've got different fonts and all sorts of stuff now. They're a bit more fancy than the original Dymos and stuff, the electronic ones that came out a while ago. This I think was about $53 from Officeworks, so couldn't get a price anywhere near that on eBay or anywhere that I could find. So good old Officeworks. Just go in there and grab one, and you can get a cheaper version like a handheld portable one, but I'm not going to be using this portable going around a shop or a warehouse or something, so thought I might as well get the one with a slightly bigger keypad on it. I think the other one's only about $40 or 40 something dollars. And I think it comes with a meter or so of tape. You can get all these different label widths. It's probably not very well in focus though. And down from 3.5 up to 12mm. Don't think I'll be wanting the 12mm. I think that might be what it comes with, but I thought I'll just see what's in there and what it's like before I actually buy any other tapes. And what do we get? QWERTY keyboard. I think they both have QWERTY keyboards, but this is a little bit bigger and better. I think you can check it on the display before you print the label, which given the price of the labels is probably a good idea, because like I say, they are not cheap. They like a bit like a inkjet printer. They make all their money out of the disposable bits after selling you the actual equipment fairly cheap. Colours and widths. Split back tapes for easy peel and stick. Oh, that's interesting. So it looks like they've improved that. Actually split the back bit on them, so that's probably an improvement over the early ones. So I think you had to fiddle around and try and get your thumbnail or something under the corner, which was always a pain. Store up to 30 labels for quick reprinting. So yeah, I don't think the early ones had that either. So at least if you're doing a lot of labels over and over, you can store them into memory. 14 fonts, 97 frames, and over 600 symbols. I was going to say, it probably even does emojis these days. It looks like it does. God. Not that I want them, but... So you can have some little arty stuff around, and or what they call a frame, I guess, is those bits and pieces around the thing. So it's a little bit nicer than what they used to make. Useful templates for files, gifs, even decorative patterns. So yeah, a few things there for the girly market, I guess, which... probably not a bad idea if you're selling stationery products. And we've got some info here. So you can make these, I think you can actually print them out with it, so they've got the label on each side or something. Specialty tapes, or maybe you've got to buy a specialty tape. But that's always a handy one to be able to label your cables on the back of your home entertainment system, or even your computer networking and stuff. Oddly shaped and textured surfaces, motor oil. It's a strong adhesive tape, so I think that a lot of these are fairly weatherproof. Iron-on fabric tape. Labels, fabrics and clothing are durable iron-on labels that withstand multiple washings. So that's an interesting one. I guess, yeah, for the kids at school. Mum can't even be bothered sewing it on now, so she can do it with these. But that makes sense, especially when the rate that kids grow out of things. So I might as well open this up and have a look. Tab it there. And one of those egg carton style things, since we're not allowed to have polystyrene anymore. At least they can just be shoved in that cardboard recycling. Oh, we've got a random plastic bag with nothing in it. A bit odd. I've actually got some stuff on paper. Tape guide, power supply and tape cassette. That's right, this thing runs off. I think you've got to buy the power adapter separately. And that's what the cartridge looks like. Quite an interesting piece. And yeah, I might have to mute. There's going to be lots of nice crunchy sounds from that. At least it opens easily. So it's a sample of 12mm. Probably the worst size. I didn't really want the big one, but we'll see what it's like anyway. I'm not getting any younger, so I guess the wider tape might be a good thing. won't be much good. I was going to put some on the front of that power supply I did up, so I might be able to snip it down a bit anyway. Or I'll just buy some thinner tape. So 6mm would be half of that. What sizes did they say? 3.5, 6, 9 and 12. Yeah, I thought that's what they said. So you've got one that's about 3/4 of that, 9, and then half of that is 6, and then yeah, down more like 1/4 of the size, 3.4, or 3.5, 3.5. Yeah, 3.5, that's what I thought. 3.5 is tiny. That's like, 3mm LED is a tiny little thing. 6mm is a bit bigger than a 5mm LED. That's the kind of size if you can label right across it so you don't get that extra label width on the sides would be quite nice. 9 about there, that's probably more of a standard one. 12 I think is getting a bit big, but if you want bigger letters and stuff that you can actually see from a distance, if you're just doing parts drawers and stuff, you don't really need to see it from a distance because you're going to go up to the drawers to get the parts out anyway. I guess this is just telling you all the different types of tapes you can get. Wow, there's a few different ones by the look of it. Matte 5m, laminated, fluorescent 5m, laminated 8m, 6, 9, 12. So the 3.5 doesn't come in much. Non-laminated 8m, so that's not even much good, and it's not laminated, so what's so tiny. Iron-on fabric 3m in pink, blue, yellow and white in 12mm only. Acid-free adhesive also for 12mm. Print-headed cleaning cassette. You can actually get a cleaning cassette, something I haven't seen in a long time. I used to get them for audio cassettes. Approximately 100 uses, 2.5 meters, and that probably costs you $30–40. I think most of these are $30–40 type purchases, so you don't want to do an awful lot of labelling. But interesting, they're showing it in the garden, so it must be fairly durable. Home office, obviously, home. They don't really look that much better than the old stamped out sort of Dymo labels, to be honest, which always used to be all over the place in the 70s and 80s, and they're pretty horrible. Seen a lot of home built electronic gear with those things on them, and you never sort of forget they're all in pretty horrible colours. And then I think the bit where you stamped it, like it pushed the lettering out, it would turn white by because when it stretched the plastic or whatever. Tape with easy peel. Chemical oh, let's see that what they're saying about. Those 18mm you can also get with some of them. That's pretty wide. That's a pretty big label. Printed in the Philippines. Open the cassette cover. See, open up the whole top of the machine, do we? Is it that thing? Or is it that thing? Ah. I guess this can only really go one way, can't it? I'm not going to read the instructions, I'll just put it in. Well, it's got that little bit of paper, so that would come to the outlet. There's a little clip down in there somewhere, like so. Oh, well, can't get much easier than that. That's your batteries. It runs off 9 volts. I'd probably be more tempted not to put batteries in there, because then you forget they're in there. 9 volt DC, let's find out how much. And I assume this little thing has to come off. Does it have a little tab to pull it? Of course it doesn't. Get rid of that thing. They probably only tell you that you've got to use their power adapter anyway. AC adapter option on the D210. But I did see on their website that it was an optional accessory. Printing labels. You can preview the text. Feeding. This will feed approximately 25 mils of blank tape. Only one copy of the label, press OK without selecting the number of copies. Print up to 9 copies of each label. And you can specify it. To cut the label, pushing the tape cutter lever, that must have been that green thing. After the message please cut is displayed. Please cut is displayed on the screen for 2 seconds. To prevent damage to the tape, do not touch the cutout lever while the message "Please wait" is displayed. To remove the backing, fold the label lengthwise with the text facing inwards to expose the inside edges of the backing. Oh yeah, that's not a bad system. Peel off the backing one piece at a time and apply. That sounds like a much better way of doing it than, I say, trying to get your fingernail under the corner. Shift print numbering. Print a series up to 9 labels at a time using auto numbering. Oh, that's handy. So you can actually have a increasing number on each label. So there's a lot of automatic features in these which they never used to have. Or probably some of the more basic models don't have. Use clear tape in mirror so the labels can be read correctly from the opposite side when attached on glass, windows or other transparent surfaces. So that's another good feature. You can make them so you can stick them on the inside of glass or other clear things. Text label, templates, various labels, built-in templates. So there's just a whole lot of menus to go through, I guess. Create labels by using built-in templates for patterns. Don't think I really care about most of that. I just want a basic text label, but you never know, they might have something interesting in there to spice it up a bit. AC adapter still doesn't tell you what the AC adapter's specs are. Geez, that's annoying. I doubt it draws much power. It's only a little LCD thing. I guess there's a little motor to run the printing part. And is it a thermal printer? I think these, and the little thermal head probably uses a bit. Memory backup. We recommend batteries with the AC adapter. Keep batteries out of things if you can, especially things you don't use that often necessarily. Turn it on, set the language, set the unit of measurement. Default setting is inches. Who the hell uses that these days? Machine automatically turns off if no keys are pressed within 5 minutes. To cancel operation, press escape. After pressing OK, accept it will be displayed for approximately 1 second. Contrast of the display. Accessories. Entering text, switch upper lowercase, so it's got a caps key. Looks all pretty, very much like a computer keyboard, which is what I like about it. And font, label, frame, symbol, template. Entering tabs. That's what's going to be interesting, what you can do, whether you can put 2 lines of text on the wider ones or whatever, I'm not sure. Accented characters, refer to the table. Changing label length. After label, cut along the printed dots with scissors so the label length matches what is shown on the LCD. So it actually prints it out all in one piece and then you cut them. If you do multiples maybe. Setting the margin. Leaving equal margins on both sides of the text. Chain print. Use a setting when printing several labels with minimum margins. We don't want to waste too much on margins given the price of the tape. Depends, I guess it may look a bit nicer. Feed the tape please and cut, otherwise part of the text may be cut off. Saving label files, up to 30 of those. Recall them for printing at a later date. Maximum 80 characters can be saved per file, or 2400 characters can be saved in total memory. Okay, so you can also edit and overwrite the stored labels. That's good, you can even edit the things, so that's pretty good. Did I read all that? I think I did. Font key. So I've got a few different ones. Oh, it looks like we can align text to different sides, like on a computer. Actual font size depends on the tape width, number of characters, character input lines. So maybe there is a number of lines. Shortcut, helpful tips, resetting it. For Australia only. frame key. Oh yes, you can set that frame. Got one of those big green keys yet, the middle one. Symbol to select various symbols. So that's, I guess these keys have also got shift to do a few little symbols there, but I guess there's a whole lot of other. Ah yes, we've got punctuation, mathematics, brackets, arrows, unit, Greek letters. Number 1, 2, 3, shape, pictograph, fun, family, clothing, vehicle, sports, even astrology. Great, can't wait to use all my star signs on everything. And then we've got all the troubleshooting error messages and stuff. Oh yeah, there's the actual, they show you all the symbols here, so quite a few of them. And different letters. Text label templates, frame designs. So you got stars and little love hearts and what is that? A clock and a book. Leaves and the like. What on earth is that? That's meant to be a clipboard or something. Yeah, nothing overly great, but there's at least one basic one there, which is what I'd prefer, just simple squares and the like. Oh, even got a few electrical symbols here. Data communications and AV, so I guess that'd be handy for various things, like doing your leads and whatever. Oh, well, plenty of good stuff there by the look of it. And frame designs, so that's more of the frames, so there are quite a few more here. Yeah, I can't see many there that I'm going to be using, but at least there's plenty of variety, I guess. So, I might see if I can find a power pack. Well, I do have some new batteries there, although what were they? AAs or AAAs. 6 of them. Well, that's not that many, I guess. Might go for that. I just noticed it says right in front of me there, includes 4 meters of durable tape. Okay, getting out a power pack was going to be too much trouble, so I put batteries in. So if this thing fires up, that's a good sign. Don't tell me it's got to boot up. Oh no, it's just the contrast. I can't see a thing yet if I look at it at a normal angle, but if you tilt it up the right way, there's something there, just a bracket. So how do we set the contrast again? Better read the instructions again, I guess. Okay, initial settings. Turn it on. Set the language. Oh, so it's under menu. Okay, that makes sense. Language, which I think looks to be in English, or is it? Yeah, we can go side to side. Oh, okay, so that's language. Do we press OK? English. Okay, accepted. Set the unit of measurement. Menu. Unit. Ah, so it is, luckily it's all set up for Australia. Well, and modern countries that use metric. And contrast. Menu. Oh, yeah, it's under here somewhere. Oh, do I have to press OK? Oh, God, I do. LCD contrast, that's what I definitely want, because that is rubbish from my angle. Oh, is that it? Doesn't really do much. This thing meant to be mounted, so that's got to be up that high. No, it does. Oh, does it? You just got +1, +2. Well, I must say that screen is okay, so that's definitely not as good. It's pretty rubbish. I'm not at all impressed with that, because if I sit that on there, I've got to you got to put your head right above it. So almost got to be, basically at a right angles to it. on that -2 setting, and it gets a bit worse. I mean, you've basically got to be, that's not good at all. Surely that's not how they've made it. Either way, you cannot get the contrast what you'd call good on it. I can see all these other symbols, I mean maybe you meant it, and all this black, the dot matrix bit. I mean, is it something to do with the lighting in here? I wouldn't have thought so. Maybe in the sunlight it's better, but that is, I'd say that is probably the worst LCD display I've seen in anything in a long time. You can still see the dot matrix bit behind those numbers no matter what you do. It can't be that low contrast, that's not possible. Maybe it's these batteries that are low or something. Oh well, we're on that setting I think, but that is really bad. Must be something up with that. Surely they're not that rubbishy displaying them. I mean, they're not the most expensive thing on earth what they are, but yeah, I'm not at all impressed with that. It really needs this. I mean, it's made to sit on the desk, so you've either got to put your head right above it. Yeah, I prefer to sit back a bit on a whole idea of getting a desk mounted one was that you could sit it on the desk and just, but at that angle the contrast is absolutely trash. It's like looking at it like that is about what I'm seeing looking at it from a reasonable distance, and the camera right above it is getting about right, I think. So you've got to get your head right over the thing. But anyway, so we just, so we set the margin, we press label, label length. That's right, we've got label length. Which is where? Printing labels, feeding, printing, text label, pattern label. Okay. What do we do? Oh, margin. Oh, it's auto. That's probably what I want to match the text. We've got the margin, full margin, half margin, narrow margin. Oh, it actually shows you, oh, chain print, narrow. Oh yes, that's a bit, don't think, oh, I've still got the narrow, maybe I'll go half margin. No point wasting label material on something I don't want. Now how do we set the switching upper lowercase? So I guess that's caps lock on. I might do it all in caps, I think. Creating 2-line labels, so you can do that. Move the cursor to where you want to start the next line. And press enter. Use either 9 or 12 wide tape, so you can do 2 lines. So I guess with this stuff you could even print 2 thinner labels at once and snip them in half if you really wanted to, but line 1, press enter. So if we go toggle switch, if we press enter, DPDT, that button just stuck, that's not the best either. And how do we review it? If I press OK. Nope. Preview. Oh, you press a little magnifying glass. Oh, that one. Oh yes, that's what we would get. Toggle switch, double pole, double throw. But that's how do we center the line. There is a way, I think. Text centering, I saw it somewhere. Oh, that was it, alignments. Press font. font. Do I get rid of that somehow? I think it's too late to press font. How do I go back? Oh, escape was how to get rid of it, I think. Yeah, that's it. Font. Helsinki, Brussels, blah, blah, blah. Oh, what's this one? Florida. Okay, so the font must be okay. Oh, that's kind of a bit... No thanks. Okay. Size, width, style, alignment, that's what I want. Center. Okay, that's more like it. Let's press that. That's better. I think I hit print and it should print. Yeah, one copy. Do I press print again? Yeah. Oh. And do we chop it? Guess you should make sure. Okay, that's not too bad. So that's the cut point. So it still wastes a bit of tape. Where do my scissors go? And I reckon you what? Fold it down the middle like so. Oh yeah, there's your gap. And look at that, it's already starting to come off. It's probably too long a label. I think I'll go for the shorter. Now I've got to remember where it was. Font. Was it under label? Yeah, margin. There it is. It's still there. Half. Narrow. Because that's ridiculous amount of width. Something, yeah, more like. That's all I want. I don't want excess. Oops, I cut it on an angle. That's no good. I'll ruin that one. And doesn't look like you can cut this stuff real thin. Oh, it does the job still. Kind of was hoping for a bit, maybe a bit thicker text, but that's not too bad, I don't think. Let's have a look. So go parts drawer. And yeah, that should look pretty good. On the front like that. I guess if I had some thinner tape, I could even put it on the edges of these. Or maybe I should do it in longer pieces. Do I want it on there? I don't think it really matters. So we fold it. That is certainly a much better design. They were such a pain to do before. Much better design. Because the only problem is, how do I center it and get it straight on the drawer? I think I've done a pretty good job just by eye. It's pretty straight and it's pretty central, except one end is cut on an angle, which is annoying. Let's see what it looks like on the parts drawers. Yeah, that's fine. I'm about a metre away and it looks fine. I mean, slightly thicker text could be better. I remember the old ones being a bit... Have I got an old one somewhere? There must be one on one of these drawers. I can't see one anywhere. I don't think I've got one of the old original ones that were on some of these drawers, but from way back in the 90s, probably early 90s almost. So if we now... What do I hit? Escape. Or can I clear? Does that backspace? Oh, it does. Oh, this is actually handy. So I'm going to toggle switch. Single pole, double throw. And that was the view. Well, let's print one in a shorter version. Oh, you've got to hit copy again. Print again. Still waste a whole heap of tape. Is that the scam? I'd say it probably is. So you're going to waste half a label's worth of tape. So maybe that's the point of doing the multiple. So that must be the way to save wasting like a couple of centimetres. Yeah, the rate they're selling to is probably like 20 cents there. And the rate their labels cost, I don't know, I think you get 8 metres for $30 or something, or you can buy 2 pack and get it even cheaper. But yeah, I do like the fact you can peel that off so easily. But yeah, centering the actual label on the drawer, not the easiest thing to do when you kind of got to hold each end of it with your fingers. And we've got double switch circuit board. And we can just do PCB. Check it. I don't know if I'm getting the hang of this now. But yeah, it's going to waste a piece of label every time if you do different labels each time. So I think I'm going to have to learn how to do them. Oops. Do them in a group print and then cut manually. I guess what I should do is measure, see if we can work out what this actually costs. What is that, about 50 mil? It will be, I reckon. To do a multi-word one like that, plus waste, we use them about 5 centimetres at a time. So is that like 20 of them in a metre? 100 centimetres it is. So you're going to get about 20 labels out of 1 metre tape if you do them that way. So it gives you an idea. That will do, so in 1 metre will do every drawer in this cabinet if I keep them up at that rate. What do we got? Slide switches. If we keep clearing, oh yeah, it does go back. Unfortunately, I wonder if you can, oh, sort of way of navigating, doesn't really matter, it's not that hard to. Whoops, I didn't hit the space probably. Yeah. Didn't hit the D probably either. So these buttons are a little dodgy. Probably just take a bit of getting used to. Rather rubbery things. Slide switch, that's all. I better check it, I guess. Oh, that's gonna auto. Oh, okay. I want to see what it looks like anyway. So if you don't do 2 lines, how did I get a second line up? Yeah, that's something I didn't think of. All the text is going to be different sizes. That is going to be annoying. Yeah, it's kind of more like what I remember them looking like. And it's a lot wider, so that's kind of a bit of a failing. Is that even going to fit on the drawer? Because that's getting a lot longer. I don't think it will. Oh, it does. It's kind of good in a way because you can align it perfectly with the width. So I guess the way to do it would be to make it a 2-liner. Oh, we just hit enter, didn't we? Slide, enter, switch. Anyway, I'm going to waste a bit of tape playing around. But oh, got to double click it, haven't we? And of course that makes it a lot shorter. So this is going to be a hassle. It would be nice if you could have all labels the same width. That doesn't look right. Is it the same size as the other text? I think it is. It's just shorter. So you really wanted to go wider margins, I guess. how do you ensure consistency? I would like the front of the containers to all have roughly the same size. So I guess we could go like slide, switch. I wonder if we can just put nothing in the second. That was my other idea. Let's go slide, switch, enter, put nothing, press feed, and print. I think that's the only way to do it. Double click print. And then we end up with something like the other ones. Yeah, pretty much the same because the words are roughly the same length. Well, that's going to be a bit annoying if I have to keep thinking up ways to get all the labels to look the same. But I guess that's the game you got to play. I wonder if there is a way of setting the, maybe I'll miss something here, setting the length. I think the ideal would be whatever you print on it, you get the same size text and the same length label. Because even if they don't need to be as long, I think I'd at least like them all to be consistent. So then you've got to work out roughly how many letters you've got. So these are push button, which is a much longer switch. Is that one word or two words? Not even sure. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, I guess 12 characters. That's roughly 10, so it's close enough. If I put a gap in there, maybe. I think it's one word, but anyway. Push button, second line. It is that one. I don't know what feed means, that just put me off. I should have kept one of the other ones. And yeah, it's pretty much identical. Maybe a tad longer, but yeah, that one I cut a bit weirdly anyway. That I can live with. I can live with them if they're all kind of similar and the text is always the same size, but of course this is the problem you find with these things. If you want consistency, you may have problems when they kind of make everything fit the label, which does make sense. But so I guess if I've got DC sockets, well, it's plugs and sockets. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8 and 1, I guess I could say sockets. Sockets and plugs. Yeah, that's pretty good. I guess you're just going to have to learn to space your text out on the lines to kind of match the rough label length you want. Like I said, it's just me being a bit how do I say it politely without using the A word. Oops, I didn't stick that one on very well. I wonder if they come back off again. Here's another thing I can try. Oh, yeah, when you've just stuck it on, that does seem to come off again, so that's another little saving grace there. Oh, slipped out of my fingers. I don't know what putting your fingers on the back of these does either. That's probably not ideal, but still got it on bloody... Still got it on an angle. It's one thing to get it to start coming off, another to actually grab hold of it. Now I've flipped the corner over. So it'll be interesting to see whether my fingerprints all over these if they stay stuck on, but I think I've ruined that one. I've bent the corner over, but oh well, it'll do. If I can just get it straight, I'll be happy. Yeah, I might have to redo that one later, but anyway. Then we got what? Micro. I should have done the other after the other one. Push button. I might call them micro, or I guess PCB they could be. So it's going to be a little bit wider with all that. Or I could call them mini, I guess. How do we go back? I've completely forgotten. Clear, I know. Oh, escape, that was the one. Mini. Test. Print. Well, it's easy enough to do, at least it's quite productive. It doesn't help when you're doing a million different things, but that's not the machine's fault, that's my fault for having so many different parts in the one set of drawers. Yeah, it's quite good. RCA plugs and sockets, yeah. Okay, we just clean that out. Oh, can I hold that down? Yeah, I can. RCA RCA sockets apply, I should get it about the right length. Rather messy little job, but yeah, I'm happy with those. They're all close enough in length and size and same text size. So you just, that's I guess one of the things you've got to get used to with these things is just tweaking things as you put them in to match the output you want. Okay, printed some labels for the power supply that I tidied up, the dual tracking one. Done one for power switch, the output on off switch, the potentiometer as adjust, and then plus minus and common for the outputs. So I can sort of cut these down to a whatever, I guess, minimum sort of size. They don't really need any extra, and if I cut in between them I should be able to get a whole lot of them out of one label. Don't really need anything either side because the front panel's white anyway. And now I've got the problem of I can't peel the stuff off easily. So that's one mistake I made. But I don't think I've got much choice, but how do we get that off now? Geez, they really are fiddly. I knew they weren't much fun, but that is ridiculous. I'll have to get a scalpel or something and separate it. Maybe I should have started separating it on a separate, on one of the bits I cut off, but I've cut this down so small I don't think I'm going to be able to salvage it. Geez, they are fine. Here we go. That is one big difficulty. I knew they were a pain when you can't peel the backs off easily. So just getting these straight and stuff is going to be a pain too. That's rubbish. And that was the other one, I think, power. Like I say, should I start peeling that? What do? I pushed it sideways and that sort of got it to, yeah, you can see it starting to go. Kind of got to kink the corner a little bit, possibly just bend it a bit to, which if I'm about to cut that piece off I don't care about so much. Now let's just start folding that back, then I can cut off my, even though it'll be a horrible little sticky piece. That's the way to do it, I think. I've got that quite straight, but that's not too bad. So again, but that's the perfect sort of size for that. Pretty much the same. I probably could have made it in a thicker sort of font to match the writing on the panel meter, but it's right about the same size, so that's kind of nice, matches with that. They are fairly little things. There we go. Well, we were. But at least these are all laminated and stuff. It's better than using Letraset or something, like we had to do in the old days, and then trying to coat it with something. You can see a sort of bit of a shadow there where they're on, and I don't think I've got them as straight as I should have. You almost need to mark a little, I don't know if it would help to mark a line on there, because by the time you fit it, trying it with your big hands going over the top of it and stuff, you're kind of covering up and marking anyway. I probably shouldn't be doing it while it's sitting on the shelf, but should actually get it facing upright and do it that way. But this is more just a practice run as much as anything, but it may well do the job permanently. There we go. Side. Now I'm going to probably have to use a screwdriver because it's so short. Get on there, you mongrel. Yeah, that's not bad. Probably should have cut that little wide a bit of stuff off underneath. Now can I get this separated? If they make see-through transparent ones to go on windows, I guess they probably make transparent ones. If you can do them in reverse, you can just do them the normal way. So an actual transparent label would be even better. You could put it on any colour surface, any colour project box or anything, and still get your black symbols, or I think black's the only colour they do in text. Whoops, now I've got stuff stuck to me scissors, it's getting stuck to me label. So there's another key. Clean your scissors. There's another. Oh, look at them, they're stuck everywhere. Clean your scissors off, because especially if you're taking the backing off, they're gonna stick to everything. Well, I didn't really need to label the outputs since they're color coded, but still makes it that little bit more professional. Oops, didn't get the minus quite straight, but that's not bad. Better than the old Dymo labels, that's for sure. They looked absolutely terrible. Mainly because they were black or red or green. Usually some horrible colour like that. So that's the power supply now. You can sort of see a bit of a shadow line under it. That's the only problem with these letters that are on something sort of slightly thick material. At least the old Letraset was just only the thickness of the label itself, the text itself, so very thin, you didn't get that shading effect, or not very noticeably. But it still comes up quite nice. Not perfectly professional, but not too bad. And that's the parts drawers so far. I mean, there's a couple there, haven't done the top row yet. But gives you an idea of what they look like. I do have one folded over corner there somewhere, which I'll probably have to do again. And yes, some slight differences in the length from a fairly short to fairly long, but I can live with that. They're reasonably even, all the text is the same size, and a lot better than just doing it yourself. There are a couple I've got slightly off straight. I think that one's drooping down a bit too, but generally I can live with that. And yeah, very easy to read. So, and hopefully they last long, because the old paper labels, which I did with most things, often there was multiples stacked on top of each other as things change over time, and they just last so many years and then fall off. Glue would dry out or whatever, and that was the end of that. So these ones should last a lot better, plus they don't get like dirty and browned and stuff from putting dirty fingers on them and that sort of thing. Hopefully, I don't think these ever change in the sun even. I did have some on something, I'm sure I've still got some on something that's been there since the 90s, and they're still just as bright as the day they were made, so whether these ones are as good I don't know, but I would assume they last as well. But yeah, they're quite a good little things. Not the cheapest way of doing things, but you get such a good result, and hopefully I'm not going to mess with these parts again for a long time, probably not ever, so these, I should get my money's worth out of these, even if the tape does cost a little bit. And like I say, I think I worked out, what did I say, we can do 20 per metre, so it's like 80 of these drawers basically should be able to do, which is good, because I've got another much bigger container than this one that's got a lot of drawers. And then I've got all my old stuff, which pretty much all of it wants redoing. But I thought this wide tape would be a bit wide, but if you're going to use 2 words, which most things are, or you know, enough words, say 4 words, I guess, 3 or 4 words, or 2 longer ones, it comes up quite good. So I'm quite happy with that. The text is about the right size. Would be, you know, from a distance, if you want to do it, you'd want that bigger text, probably just a single line, twice the height. But I'm pretty happy with that. It's quite an easy little machine to use once you sort of get the hang of it. I still don't know why that display's not so good. I'll have to try and dig out my power packs. There's a box full of multi-voltage power packs somewhere under the bench, and I think it's stacked right behind a heap of other stuff, because it's very rare I use it. So I'll have to get that out and try it with 6-volt power pack and see if that makes the picture any better on the screen. It's not the worst sort of failing on earth, but it would be nice if you could adjust the angle so you can sit back a bit further and sort of type it roughly where you'd have a laptop computer or something. But anyway, thanks for watching.